Good morning, friends. Brian King, the Mindset King here. One thing that I like to do on a regular basis, and I talk about this, is pump my head full of new ideas. And that often has me reading books. Not as often as I should, but I started reading one, started getting back into one that I've been reading last night. And it's Total Money Makeover by whatever his name is. My coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Dave Ramsey. And I'm going to give you the link to the book so that you can go get it too, if you so like. But a quote jumped out at me that was just like bam. And it fits so perfectly with everything I talk about in terms of the importance of staying in progress and making sure you're making progress as opposed to striving for perfection. And let me just give you this quote because it's really going to feed into the conversation that we're about to have here. And the quote is, "A flower is not better when it blooms than when it is merely a bud. At each stage, it is the same thing, a flower in the process of expressing its potential." Now, don't scamper and think you need to write this all down. This is being transcribed as we talk. And if you're interested in getting a transcription of this video, make a comment, hashtag transcription, and I'll tell you how to get it. But there's a lot of metaphors around this. You know, the oak tree was once an acorn, and, you know, every flower was once a sapling, or however you want to say it. But when you look at how people tend to think about themselves, and maybe you're the case as well, you tend to fret and get impatient with yourself because you're not at your destination yet. Now, you want to be a tree already. You want to blossom. You want to feel your potential, and you almost resent the fact that you're still growing. And almost as though because you're still growing, you're not yet good enough because you haven't reached the goal yet. Well, this quote speaks to the truth of the matter, which is you're good enough wherever you are in the process. Because there's this ongoing balance between process and destination. You know, there's the saying that it's not the destination, it's the journey. Well, the reality is it's kind of both. Now, unless, of course, you live in an enlightened state where you never have a destination, you are simply in process. But let's face it, we live in a Western society that is very goal-driven, and a lot of us have goals, things that we want to accomplish, whether it's professionally, personally, financially, socially, whatever and wherever. There's something that we are reaching for, and there is a systematic amount of effort that's required to create that, whether it's balancing your budget and growing your business, growing your influence, getting a college degree, getting a promotion at work, whatever it is. And the most important takeaway from this quote is that you are everything you need to be from one moment to the next. Now, don't get caught in this trap of defending your comfort zone. There are people that will say, well, you need to accept me for the way I am. You shouldn't want to change me. I shouldn't have to change for you. And people will use that as an excuse to remain stuck, to say, I shouldn't have to make any kind of effort to improve myself in any way because I'm good just the way I am. That's very poor thinking, because the reality is life is set up for growth. You doubt this? Look out your window. Every spring, summer, fall, winter, there's this cycle, depending on where you live. Unless it's San Diego, then it's summer all the time. But we won't go there, okay? I live in Illinois, where we get all 4 seasons in abundance. But what I'm pointing out here is that there is this sequence, there's this pattern of life, that there is new life sprung. It grows, it dies, changes, transforms. I don't see it as an ending, because once winter hits, life doesn't end. It goes to sleep for a while. Then it starts again in the spring. Our growth is no different. When you look at the metaphor of the flower, okay, it doesn't die necessarily. It may come back. Now you look at yourself. You have ebbs and flows. You have a lot of momentum, then you feel like you're taking 2 steps back. The 2 steps back, what could look like a failure, may simply be the winter of your efforts. where you're taking a step back. You need to rest. You need to reflect. You need to take account of what you've done, what you've learned, how you've applied it. Now, a winter could be a day when it comes to your progress. A winter could be the year you take off of your entrepreneurial efforts to get a job and stabilize your finances. Then you begin your spring again. You inject new life and new funds into your business. You follow me? But that rest period is okay. It doesn't mean you stop growing. It doesn't mean you're worth less. It doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're still in process. Just as much as when you were the bud or the sapling or the adolescent tree, if there is such a thing. And then you continue on your journey. But it's really essential to remember that just because you're in process doesn't mean that you are failing, wasting your time. It's a journey of varying lengths. There are some saplings or weeds that can grow like that, and there are some plants that take years, like trees. So don't fret the time frame either. I was having an exchange with a Facebook friend yesterday who was really frustrated in her efforts to establish herself in the coaching realm because she'd been burned by a lot of people that promised quick results. And I've fallen victim to those as well, and they hurt and they can be very demoralizing. But when you think about it, somebody who is promising fast growth to a tree doesn't know who they're talking to and doesn't know what they're talking about, because you can only promise to a tree that it will become a tree if it follows its process, if it nurtures it correctly, which is long-term, not overnight. We're trees, people. We're flowers. We need to take time. We need to be patient with ourselves. We need to honor the fact that we are just as valuable as a bud, as a sapling, when we blossom. We're just as valuable during our winters as we are during our summers when it comes to our progress. And at the heart of that is self-compassion. Realizing that it's a bumpy journey. It's a fruitful journey. It bruises us, but it also blesses us. And it's important to remember both sides of that coin so that you don't get caught up in the thinking that I'm not good enough because my path isn't easy or it isn't smooth. Now, you're good enough regardless. Just stay in process and you will make progress. Fair enough? Well, that's my 2 cents on this. I'm gonna get to my coffee now so my brain works a little bit more in coordination. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. If so, comment below. Let me know what your takeaways from this video. And if there's anybody you know that can benefit from this, please share it with them as well. Until we talk again, this has been Brian. Thanks for being you.